For the first time since these playoffs began, I'm officially worried about my pick that no one is going to beat the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. And, about a week or two ago, I talked about the fact that this is a new NBA. I called it before the playoffs began. I thought when you took a look at the bracket, which, by the way, in my Western bracket, I had Oklahoma City knocking off New Orleans. I had Minnesota knocking off Phoenix. I had Denver knocking off the Lakers. The only series I got wrong was Dallas Clippers, and that was mostly because I picked the Clippers based off the health of Kawhi Leonard. I said if he wasn't going to play the majority of the series, I would take Dallas. He only played in 2 out of the 6 games. So technically, I was right there. And then again, Boston, Miami. I picked Boston, Cleveland, Orlando. I picked Cleveland, though I did not obviously expect that series to go 7 games. Philly Knicks, I picked the Knicks, and then the only series I technically again got wrong was the Milwaukee Indiana series. Though I said if Giannis and Dame aren't going to be healthy, I'd take Indiana in that scenario. So technically, I was never wrong when it came to the first round, but boy, was I wrong about the second round because I thought Denver would take care of Minnesota in 6. And now, in order for Denver to do that, they have to win 4 straight games. And Naj Reed, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, and even without Rudy Gobert last night, without Anthony Edwards not even playing that well, the Minnesota Twins dispatched the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray for a heating pad. Michael Malone got upset. And this is what happens when dynasties and teams that are expected to win championships get frustrated. Now the Nuggets get their first real test in arguably 2 years, and we'll see how they respond. Game one, I took it as, they had 5 days off. Maybe Nikola Jokic was distracted by the winner of the Kentucky Derby. And I took it as Naj Reid had to play unbelievable for Minnesota to win that game. But now the T-Wolves have all the confidence in the world. And we talk about the young stars, and we'll see some tonight, obviously. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum. We saw Jalen Brunson in the Knicks last night, who may have got the beneficiary of some calls against Indiana. But Indiana, to me, is a weird team. They score a lot, they give up a lot of points. Tyrese Halliburton, to me, is not a superstar. I've said it. He's just a star. He's disappeared in a lot of these playoff games. It's been a lot of Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and some of the other guys they've relied on here to just shoot the lights out of the ball to beat Milwaukee. And that series could have went to a game 7 because Milwaukee could have won game 3 in Indiana. So I don't buy the Pacers. I think the Knicks are, yes, a one-trick pony. I think Jalen Brunson, as a part of these young stars, is slowly becoming a superstar before our eyes. But I don't think they could beat Boston in a 7-game series. And for the record, I don't think Cleveland can beat Boston in a 7-game series either. Um, what I am concerned about when it comes to the Cavs is the fact that they are such a Donovan Mitchell dependent team that if Karis LeVert did not have, one of his Karis LeVert games, which is he scores the basketball and LeVert disappears, then he comes back. And if Max Strus did not have a big third quarter, it took the Cavs 7 games to eliminate the Orlando Magic, a team who could not shoot the ball. And Franz Wagner had a horrible game 7. Pablo Banchero was there for the first half, but in the end, the baby Orlando Magic ran out of gas. Even without Kristaps Porzingis, I don't expect the baby Boston Celtics to run out of gas. And we assume that Drew Holiday is going to be on Darius Garland, and Jalen Suggs was a great defender, and he rattled Darius Garland in the series. We'll see what Drew Holiday does, but Darius Garland has not had a good postseason. So by all looks to me, it's going to be Celtics and Knicks, the 1 versus the 2 seed, the way it should be in the Eastern Conference. And out west again, this is what happens for a team like the Denver Nuggets, who I said before the year started, it's why I did not pick them when the year started to repeat. But I said when watching them live, I watched them against the Cavs on Easter Sunday, and I said even without Jamal Murray, Reggie Jackson, who doesn't look like they're going to be with Jamal Murray for game 3, he's going to be suspended. But if Reggie Jackson hits his shots, Nikola Jokic does his usual, which he gets a walking double double every night. The only question basically is, will he get a triple double? Um, along with again Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, who I thought kept them in the game in the first quarter. He was the only one making shots last night. Christian Braun. If those guys do their thing, it's very hard for Denver to lose. But Jamal Murray has struggled even, the first two games of the series. Nikola Jokic has not played up to his standards. But this is what championships teams do. And if they are going to be the next dynasty in the NBA, which I thought there was a chance for them to be, um, the series not over. We've seen teams lose two games at home, come back on the road and win two. It's not very common, but it's possible. And Denver's going to have to show their championship experience. And while Anthony Edwards is doing the Michael Jordan shrug, and he has very Michael Jordan qualities, don't forget Michael Jordan didn't win until we got Scottie Pippen. And it took Michael Jordan 7 years to break through and win his NBA championship. This is only, year four, I believe, for Anthony Edwards. So keep that in mind as we head. And then also this Dallas Oklahoma City series, Dallas's defense was very good against the Clippers. That to me was the most surprising part about this series. Is how well Dallas's defense played. Their role players got a little bit going. I still think they're a little Luka Kyrie dependent. I think this is going to have to be a Shed homegrown series from Oklahoma City. Dallas does not have the size, nor do many teams, but Dallas specifically, as they go very small, do not have the size to match up with the big man from Oklahoma City, who's going to be matching wits with future NBA MVP Victor Wembanyama. I still think Dallas is the best player in the series, and I think when you look at, again, most of these first round matchups, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, SGA was the best player in the series. Dallas Clippers, without Kawhi Leonard, I think Luke and Kyrie were the two best players in the series. Minnesota Phoenix, I think at the end of the day, Anthony Edwards, obviously best player in the series. Denver Lakers, it was Jokic. Celtics Heat, it was Tatum. Celtics Magic, though Pablo Banchero gave a good effort. In the end, it was Donovan Mitchell. Pacers Bucks was an interesting one because you can maybe say the best player in that series was Miles Turner, and then Sixers Knicks, it was Jalen Brunson. So I think everybody that won their first round playoff series are the best player in the series. And sometimes even the best two. And this Dallas Oklahoma City series, I think Luka will be the best player in the series. Now Minnesota Denver. Can Anthony Edwards outdo Nikola Jokic over, 4 out of the next 5 games? I don't know about that. Can Jamal Murray rise and be that number two? Will Karl-Anthony Towns rise and beat with Anthony Edwards? And how much will Rudy Gobert participate after the birth of his first child? I think that's the real question right now. The very interesting thing here is Cavs-Celtics. I think Donovan Mitchell is the best player in the series. I think he's better than Jason Tatum. I think he's better than Jaylen Brown. But I think the combination of Brown, Tatum, Horford, Drew Holiday, and the guys the Celtics have will be able to combine, out contribute what Donovan Mitchell's supporting cast will do for Cleveland. And then Pacers Knicks, I think the best player in the series will be Jalen Brunson. So I am picking 3 out of the 4 teams that have the best player in the series. I have Dallas, Denver, Western Conference Finals, even though Denver is down 0-2, as well as I have Celtics, Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals. I think a lot like the first round of these series will go 6 or 7 games for most of them. I have Dallas beating Oklahoma City in 6. I have Denver beating Minnesota in 7. I have Boston defeating Cleveland in 5, and I have the Knicks defeating Indiana in 5. So I think the East will go a little bit less than the West. And then again, I think Luka, Nikola Jokic, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, NBA conference finals are coming. But we'll see. It's a very interesting postseason. Knicks obviously held on last night. Minnesota's up 2-0. This is what championship teams do. If you're Denver, we'll see how you respond. And then on Thursday, when we reconvene to talk about these playoffs, we'll see what happened, obviously, between game 1 of Dallas, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Boston, and then tomorrow night we get game 2 between Indiana and the Knicks. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. while you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brandon's World podcast right here on YouTube.